Good morning and welcome to the fourth hour. It's been an incredible new year with a explosion, and there's not a lot of new information here, although a few things that we are learning. The FBI is let's run down some of the latest. The FBI conducted a search at the home of the suspect, but that's the only news. They're At this point, they haven't released what they may have found. We'll have to wait for that. But so no details at this point, but they have been searching his residence. Also, FBI conducting a search in Colorado Springs related to the explosion of the Cybertruck in Las Vegas. Is there anything new there? Um, So again, all they're saying is that they're on site, but no further information will be coming out of Denver. So in other words, we'll have to wait for the FBI to respond on that in more details. I also wanted to give you a excuse me. I wanted to share some of Donald Trump's comments since the event. Trump has been on True Social and has released a couple of statements here. I do not want to share that one first. Excuse me, I can't tell which one I actually am after here. I can see True Social, but this is the one. This is the early one that Donald Trump had posted. He said, "Our country is a disaster, a laughing stock all over the world. This happens when you have open borders." Now, keep in mind, he posted this like 11 hours ago. So he posted this last night. Um, he said the DOJ, FBI, and Democrat state and local prosecutors have not done their job. They are incompetent and corrupt, having spent all of their waking hours going after me, he said, rather than focusing on protecting Americans from the outside and inside violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government and our nation, he said. And so then he goes after the Democrats. This morning, Trump is saying he's building on that a little bit further. And Trump is saying, with the Biden open borders policy, I said many times during rallies and elsewhere that radical Islamic terrorism and other forms of violent crime will become so bad in America that it will become hard to even imagine or believe. That time has come. Only worse than ever imagined, he said. Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of America, a complete and total disaster when he and his group of election interfering thugs have done to our country will not soon be forgotten. So this was Donald Trump, as you can see, at 8 o'clock this morning. 8 o'clock this morning. So latest reaction from Donald Trump on what we had seen unfold in Las Vegas. Also, have you seen that explosion? Have you seen any of the video of that explosion? It is it's pretty incredible. This is a story CBS News. This is a CBS News story at YouTube. And I'm just going to show just a portion of this for a moment. The explosion, you can see here the Tesla Cybertruck. And then when this thing goes, wow. So that was the explosion. Pretty incredible. And you could see then that the force of that blast really was going up rather than out. It did not blow out the sides of the Cybertruck and the way that it's built. And this is what Elon Musk is saying. It forced the explosion to go up because the explosion's pursuing the path of least resistance, right? And so the explosion went up rather than outward. And that's what we were talking about a little bit on the air this morning. Um, Steve, I can't get behind those Cybertrucks. They just look so bad. And Melissa's agreeing. Yeah, I've never liked the Cybertrucks, but that's a personal statement, not a yeah. I thought, nah, no, that would not be for me. Also, this is this is from Newsmax, and actually, it's a story from Denver 7 that these two suspects. Now we've got two men. You've got one who's responsible for what happened in Las Vegas, and you've got one who's responsible for what happened in New Orleans. The two of them apparently served at the same military base. So I had not seen that previously. Knew they were in the Army at the same time. They had served at the same military base. Be interesting to see if we receive any additional details about that as the day unfolds. Also, the NFL is trying to, they're trying to soothe people's minds with the Superdome in New Orleans, barely a mile away from the terror attack that happened in New Orleans. The NFL said, "We're deeply saddened by the news of the devastating incident. Our thoughts are with the victims, the New Orleans community, and all those affected. The NFL and the local host committee have been working with local, state, and federal agencies, and they're saying, on planning, and that will continue. And they do this at all major NFL events. We are confident attendees will have a safe and enjoyable Super Bowl experience." So that's coming from the NFL, assuaging fans that no worries, all will be well. We're used to working with authorities to make sure that you remain safe when you attend these NFL events, especially the Super Bowl. All right, there was one other. There was one. Excuse me, scoffing at an email. One other story that I wanted to share with you this morning. James Carville, who is now after the election and now had a little bit of time to decompress here, and he is writing. Remember now, Carville had wrote for the New York Times why he was voting for Kamala Harris, and he was out there pushing that. And so now Carville is saying, "I thought Kamala Harris would win. I was wrong." While I'm sure we Democrats can argue that the loss wasn't a landslide, really? Can you really argue about that? It wasn't a landslide? It kind of looked that way from where from the cheap seats. He said the most important thing for us now, now he's talking to Democrats. The most important thing for us now is to face that we were wrong and take action on the prevailing why. So then he goes down and he says, "We lost for one very simple reason. It is, and it always will be the economy, stupid. We have to begin 2025 with that truth as our political North Star and not get distracted by anything else." What do you think the chances are that the Democrats will not be distracted by anything else? I would find that pretty hard to believe. You have a few who, like right after the election, were and they were just drowned out by the voices of crazy, just the absurdity of the left. Carville, of course, is right. It's the economy, stupid. And I think a lot of us understood that. It's one of the reasons why I supported Donald Trump. There were a number of other reasons as well. But the economy, I mean, it's the economy, stupid. Absolutely right. And so James Carville has figured it out. Will other Democrats figure it out? I don't know. I remains to be seen where we go from that. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Edgy. The Democratic Party thrives on distraction and delusion. Good luck with that, Carville. Yeah, we'll see. But again, I think he's right as to whether or not he himself can even stick to that. Because he's an emotional guy and he just goes off. I mean, there are times that he just goes off and he's ranting, and there are a lot of people who give in to the dark side. It's in that's the news every day. People giving in to anger and rage and and all of that. And those you reap what you sow. And anger just is not a position to take, I think, on any issue. It's just it's a little bit crazy. So that's I think we're going a little bit short today. But I do have to run. I've got some other things. I've been gone from work here, obviously, for over a week, and watching my emails pile up, and some of this stuff I have to get after fairly quickly. So forgive me for cutting things short, cutting things a little bit short today. I want to thank you so much for letting me join you. Some of you have been with me every day, even while I was on vacation from Kello. I appreciate that. Great to have all of you along. If you'll hit that like button and you'll let a few friends know, numbers are growing. I'm doing some things with the shorts, especially on YouTube, that I'm seeing very small. It's small, growth in numbers, but people are responding to those. So that's something I'll be doing on a more frequent basis for those of you who are on YouTube. And every now and then I'll post some of those to Facebook, depending on the content. Again, that's where the majority of my following is on Facebook. I have a much greater number of fans who are watching and listening there. So I appreciate you regardless of what platform you're on. I want to thank you for being here again. Hit that like button, let a friend know, and we'll leave it there for today. I will see you again tomorrow. We'll do the whole thing over again. So long until then, my friend.